Hello, Lynx Nation.
I'm Nathan Sheehan.
I'm Blake Bott.
Welcome back to another episode of LPTV.
Let's get started. Some of my friends are able to learn at home?
Yeah, that's because they're learning with Virtual Academy.
What's that?
Honestly, I have no idea. Let's ask Asking Claire.
So, how is Virtual Academy different from last year?
Virtual Academy is different from last year because this year for high school students and for middle school students, it's completely what we would call asynchronous. So they are not joining live to classrooms. Courses have been created using Google Sites and Google Classroom, and they essentially have each week an amount of work that they have to do. They turn that work in at the end of the week and the work is graded. So there is no joining live, there is no kind of using the owl camera in the classroom, those kinds of things. So for middle school and high school, that's how it's different. Elementary is different, but for middle school and high school, that's what we're doing.
What extracurricular activities do they have access to?
Virtual Academy students have access to extracurricular activities just like students in school. So they take all of their coursework asynchronously. They're completing these courses, but they can come up to school and participate in band or in a sport or in a club or whatever they want. They can still come and participate in all the activities that students can on campus.
How do the students receive their class instruction? Like, is it posted through Google Classroom still, or?
Yeah, so the courses are built on Google Sites. So there's a website that they go to each week, and for each class there's a different site, and all of the coursework for that week is on the site. So they'll go to the page for, say, we are currently in week 11, so next week they'll have all of week 12. So I might go to my biology course, I'm going to look at week 12, and on week 12 there are going to be a number of things there that they have to do. There will be some teacher-led instruction, so videos of teachers teaching. There will be resources and materials they need, so articles to read, videos to watch, simulations to maybe participate or engage in, and then there will be assignments. And so they will have an assignment or a number of assignments they have to complete for that week. Those assignments can be found in Google Classroom. So really what happens is students go back and forth between Google Sites and Google Classroom. Sites is where they access all their content. Classroom is kind of where they go for assignments.
Okay. How are they going to do the Iowa assessment and other big tests?
Yeah, so they have to come into school to do that. So there will be a time that the school sets up for Virtual Academy students to show up on site to do map testing and Iowa assessments. And so that's what happened in the fall, and they will plan the same thing for when we take those tests in the spring.
Are there any college credit courses or AP courses that they can take?
Currently there are not. And again, there are some other requirements for some of those courses that don't make them real conducive to being taught virtually. And so I'm not sure we'll ever get to that point necessarily. There are just a lot of factors that go into those courses and how they're graded and the kinds of materials that they have to have access to. So currently we do not have AP or CE courses.
Being able to make my own schedule, because like before I would get done really fast compared to other students, so I'd be sitting and doing nothing for half the time, but now I can schedule like what time I wake up, what time I do it, how long it takes, and then be able to do my own stuff on top of that. Probably the lack of communication, because like teachers, I know they've been having a hard time these past couple years, but sometimes it feels like they just don't care much about the virtual students anymore. And because I can't connect to my peers because I don't see them at all, I don't really have a lot of friends anymore because no one talks to you. So it gets kind of lonely considering that both the teachers and the students don't really know about you. Being an astronomer, so it requires a lot of math. And kind of Virtual Academy is a little bit between, because like it depends on how good you are at principling yourself. Because for me it's a lot easier because for math I can take as long as I need to figure it out, and I can ask my people around my family because we're all really good at math. But like for a student that wasn't good at math and didn't have the principles, they probably wouldn't succeed in it. It just depends on who you are. Like, society is moving steadily towards being able to be more technology advanced. So having Virtual Academy is really good considering that it's the pandemic times and we're starting to make more things based off of Virtual Academy. Being able to see my peers, because oftentimes no one talks to you, as I said before. So like nowadays I don't really know the names of anyone. So like a friend that I do have talks about someone in person, I'm like, I don't know who that is. Myself, because you have to really teach yourself how to do it, but also my mom, because a lot of the times she's the only one home and she helps me through it, like how I schedule my times. So a little mix between the two.
Wow, that sounds like a great opportunity for those students.
It's great they can still participate in the clubs.
ALHS does have a wide variety.
Like what?
You know, pottery. No? Well, you're lucky. Jose and I covered some of the current clubs going on at AL.
Pottery Club happens on Friday nights. We have a bunch of people that come in. They can play a hand build with the clay, or they can play on the wheel. Everybody's welcome. You can come at any time. It's just a fun, chill, relaxing place where we listen to music and create.
What gave you the idea to start a club?
The idea of I did not enjoy leaving my instrument at home, but I also didn't enjoy not being able to practice. So I came up with the idea if I started a music club, then I'd be able to both practice and have my instrument every day for school. So that was the main reason why.
When will your clubs meet and for how long?
They will be meeting on Wednesdays after school around 3:15, and they will last for about an hour. So probably at 4:25, maybe 4:30 after it starts, and they will take place in Mr. Matuszewski's room or the band room. Same place, but different name.
What can be expected from the club? What kind of activities?
Pretty much anything and everything music related. There can be digital music, there can be like showing off, so performing for the class, there can be just practicing in your own little band practice room, I don't remember what they're actually called, but one of those, or if you're just interested in music and don't know what type of instrument you want to go, you can like come and watch other people do it, and if they're willing, they can you can try it out a little bit. So just explore music.
How many people do you plan to have in your club?
As many as are willing to come. So far, we have 3 that are willing to come and possibly 4. I don't know how many will, but as many as possible would be very much appreciated, I guess.
Wow, History Day Club certainly gets me in the mood for history.
Have you heard about the new exhibit in the Durham Museum?
Is it more dinosaurs? I like dinosaurs.
Let's have Maggie instead present the new exhibit to us. Wow, I'm afraid of museums.
Why is that?
Well, ever since I was 9 years old and I seen that Night of the Museum movie, I suffered from night terrors ever since then, and I haven't slept that well.
Most people love that movie. That's a really unpopular opinion.
Well, I bet other people have worse unpopular opinions.
Let's see about that. Jason and I went through AL to see all the students' unpopular opinions.
We interviewed students who had unpopular opinions.
Some of them were pretty crazy, but we can't judge.
Let's get started.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, fine.
I don't think he likes it. Is it good?
I don't even taste the avocado, actually.
Ooh, I can.
I do not.
Final verdict?
Hold on.
On the first day of Christmas, my true love sent to me a partridge in a pear tree. On the second day of Christmas, my true love sent to me 2 turtle doves and a partridge in a pear tree. On the third day of
I will write you an e-hall pass to get away from me.
On the second day of Christmas, my true love sent to me 2 turtle doves and a partridge in a pear tree. On the third day of Christmas, my true love sent to me 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree.
On the beginning infestation of this humanity.
This is Jason,
And Blake.
reporting for
from
LPTV.
Wow, there was a lot of talk about cheese.
All that cheese talk is kind of making me hungry.
Can anyone at LPTV cook?
Didn't Cassie and some other staff say they were doing like a story on cooking or something like that?
Oh yeah! Cassie's Kitchen, featuring Cassie and a special guest. Let's see what they're cooking.
Welcome back to Cassie's Kitchen, and today we're going to be making Richard's favorite food, carrots. So to go with the carrots, we're actually going to be making a dip, because just carrots, while they're his favorite food, would be kind of boring. So let's make some dip. So for our dip, we're going to need a 2-to-1 ratio of mayo and sour cream. So I'm going to put that into our bowl, and then we'll start talking about our spices. next, we're gonna add in some minced onion. If I know how. And now for our special guest, Richard, here to try our carrots and dip. Ah! We did it! How is it? Cool. That was it for Cassie's Kitchen. Can't wait to see you next time. Bye!
Wow, now that food is covered, we're missing one more thing.
Something to eat the food too.
Have you heard the news?
The film featuring our class?
Yeah.
Let's get to the trailer.
Let's explain the scenario, guys. So, we're in the broadcasting room, and things went sideways. You see, we're looking for a microphone. Why does the camera look up here, please? And it's in the room over there, and there's a key that Appel has, and a key gotta go in the thing, except we don't have the key, and we don't have Appel. So we gotta learn alternative methods. Let's go. Luckily, when I was out, I got some tips about lock picking. Alright, so with lock picking, a lot of there's these pins that are inside of the lock. You gotta raise them. So, I can't really see that well.
What about me to cry right now?
Shut up. So, I've inserted it in, and I think I might have to go up because... Okay. We'll have to tune in another time. Things are getting too risky.
Sign out.
Sign out.
No, you have to say this has been you.
This has been Nathan on what's
Adventures.
somewhere in the class, just some sort of staff. Can you just turn off the camera?
Wow. Isn't that crazy?
I can't believe we are doing something unseen on LPTV.
Well, that's not the only thing.
There's more?
Our first podcast in several years featuring Adam and Zach. We got to see this.
Hello everyone, my name is Adam, and I will be your host for this episode. In this episode, I will be talking about the Lynx football season with the help of Coach Wolf. Let's start with, I have the Council Bluffs Jefferson game. Won that 34-16. That was your first away game, but more home game than anything for both teams. Tim McCarthy got 2 reception TDs, and you were up in the first. And so how do you feel about that with everything? You felt like you had a good run?
Yeah, that game was an interesting one because week one is always just kind of weird. You don't know what teams might exactly run. Some teams switch their offenses or their defensive schemes in the off season. It's also really important to us that we hold a scrimmage preseason. This year we scrimmaged trainer, which was really good for us because I think you just don't, you practice for months or even a couple weeks or whatever in pads versus yourself. And it's just tough to really tell where you're at until you get out on the field versus somebody else. So getting that scrimmage is big. And no matter what, though, week ones are always just a little bit strange. And then playing TJ this year, they had always run for the last 3 or 4 years, they'd run a double tight, double wing. And this year they came out in more of a spread set. We kind of anticipated that, but we weren't sure. So it was just something that we had to really plan for. And they had some really solid athletes and senior leadership this year, and so we were fortunate to come out there and play well and come away with a 34-16 win.
Next week you played Denison, and that score was a little bit more tight. You were still up 15 in the first, and then they were up, and then it was a little bit of a fight in the third, and then you guys came out on top in the fourth.
Yeah, they stuck it to us. If I recall, in the second quarter, I think we went down at halftime. I don't recall what the score was.
The score at half is 21 Denison, 15 Council Bluffs.
Right, so I think they ran 21 off in a row, and we kind of really lost the momentum. And momentum is huge in football. We lost the momentum there, and talked to our kids at halftime, and we talked about, hey, there's two ways to respond to this, and fortunately our kids came out and responded really well, and we finished that game with a 46-36 win.
Check out the full podcast on Lincoln Pride Television's YouTube channel.
Wow! This episode was such a big wow, and I'm so glad we got to end it with Adam and Zach's podcast.
Well, this wraps it up for this episode of LPTV.
And from all the staff here at LPTV, thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.